persecuted because we do not believe what they believe. We are persecuted because we have already left the world and now we are in another kingdom. And the two kingdoms cannot work together. So when we got saved, there are people we left in the other side. It's called the kingdom of enemy or kingdom of Satan. Now these people persecute us because they cannot understand us. So Paul is saying, now look at verse 12. For this cause I suffer, for us to suffer. He was a God. Let us not become very strict. Ile imefanyika, the scriptures are being fulfilled in you, that you shall suffer. But when you suffer that, God is watching. But he said, I stood firm. So he says, although I suffered, I am not ashamed. Look, although I suffered, I am not ashamed. Look, I am not ashamed because I know. Now, because I know whom I have believed. Now, Paul says that although I am suffering, I am not ashamed. Why? Now, because I know whom I have believed. Remember, brethren, we are talking about being that you are saved. When you know that you are saved and you are sure you are saved, even when the suffering comes, you will not be able now to be ashamed. You cannot be ashamed. You cannot live the gospel. Last week we were looking at Job 19 verse 25 to 27, and we saw that Job said that, I know my Redeemer lives. Even if I die, I know I will see him. That is the assurance we have. Job said, I know my Redeemer lives here. Do you know that he lives in you? Do you know that God is there when you are going through a problem? Many people in the church have not understood that salvation or being saved in the church, you are protected from any adversary of the enemy. You are not protected. You are not. Jesus went through it. Now, before Jesus began his mission, his work, in Matthew chapter 4 verse 1, what happened? He was tested by the enemy. He was taken into the wilderness. No, so he knew whom he was serving. Now Jesus said, I came to do the will of him who sent me. The will of God now to him is that he was going to do the work, and in the meantime he would suffer. So let us know that even when we are doing this work, it will bring suffering. It will bring suffering of the body. You'll be hated even by the people. You'll be a scapegoat. People will always now point a finger at you. So Paul says, I yet am not ashamed. Brethren, do not be ashamed because of what you are going through. Don't be ashamed because you are suffering. Don't say that they cannot see what I'm going through. But your Father in heaven sees what you are going through. But the people around you or about your Father. Did these people now save you? Were you saved for them? Now these people are not the people that are supposed to matter to you. Now take all what you are going through to your Father in heaven. He sees what you are going through. When you don't have food, he knows. When you are going through crisis of maybe about the fees, school fees, crisis about now the rent, crisis about the school, the issues of the family, whatever you are being now is being done to you. Your Father can see what is in the darkness. We may not see, but your Father sees. So Paul believed. It is very important now to know about God, that God cares. He cares about you. Sometimes he will even now persecute you. Yeah, so that God may see whether you are serious in your calling. And the Bible tells us there is no temptation that to you that God cannot be able now to remove it. God is going to make sure that you shall not be your children in the house. By the time you begin to cry, God will send somebody to come to you. Now, these two young men were seriously in the Lord in the 80s. And right now they are big people with the big churches. Now, but they used to meet. Look, they used to meet in a house and pray. So one day, they were meeting in one of them in a place. And so there was nothing to eat in that place. Now people have come to pray, but there is nothing. But they decided to do a word, or they decided to taste the Lord They decide to test their faith. So they put now water in the jiko for tea, and it boiled. It continues. Now these people are praying. They are trusting in the God that something will happen. Something will happen. Something will happen. And the other boy said, no. For how long is water going to boil? To boil? But this young man who had hosted them did not speak. But when he was just about to give up, one of their comrades who was late now came with some tea and milk and sugar, and he said, I'm not going to be with you here. I don't want to drop these ones here because I'm going away. Look, these young boys trusted the Lord and God is provided. That's how we are supposed to trust the Lord and God will provide. Usisononike peke yako. Usinononike kwa sababu uko peke yako. Mungu anakujua, Mungu anakupenda na ataenda kufanya maajabu. So for this cause I'm suffering, yet I know whom I have believed. Let's know whom we have believed. Let's be assured that whoever you have believed cannot let you down. Why? Because he has said he will never forsake you. To forsake somebody is to leave somebody at a point of need. God will never forsake you. Hata kuashiria wakati unahitaji sana, atakuja in a new way. Now, and then here he says, I am persuaded that he is able to guard. 3 words here. I am persuaded. To be persuaded is to be sure, to be certain that something is going to happen. I am persuaded that he is able to do that which I have trusted him. To do that which I've trusted in him. He is going to guard that which whatever we give to the Lord, he is going to guard that one until that day. That is until that day of judgment. So we are going to rise up and we are going to trust the Lord. There are things that we have trusted. Now because of being a Christian, we are going through hard times. We are going through hard times. None of us is exempted. So let us arise and speak to that mountain. That mountain is standing between you. That mountain that is standing between you and your goal. That mountain which is standing between you and your destiny. That mountain that tells you now you are not able. There is a mountain there. Can you be like Paul? He said, I know whom I have believed, and I'm convinced that he is able to guard that which he has. Paul says that I release my body, I release my life to the Lord, I release myself fully, and I know that because I have given my life to the Lord, he is going to guard whatever I have until that day. That is the day of judgment. Let's go to the Lord. Let's go to the Lord. The Lord is good. We are here this morning. Yes, we are going through hard times. Yes, we are suffering. Yes, we are going through the sanctification. Yes, things are not good. Things are good. When we try to do good, we always find ourselves doing evil. There are people who are running after us. And we are asking ourselves, are we saved? Are we sure? Are we sure of this salvation? This salvation, we want to know whether we are saved. Lord, this morning, oh God, I ask you, Jehovah, to make it now certain that what we are going through, it changes the cause. Jehovah, you are the Lord. You are the Lord who changes not. When you say, you do it. When you promise to stand like Paul. Though we cannot be like Paul because our faith is not like Paul. Jehovah, use our little faith. Use our little faith to touch you. Use our little faith to touch you, Jehovah. My God, in the course of our prison, in the course of our salvation, Jehovah, we are going through hard times. We are being forsaken by the people in the world. We are being forsaken by the families. We are being forsaken in our place of work. We are being forsaken in every place. We do not look like we have anything. We don't look like we are heading anywhere. It seems like everything is a stumbling block. But if Paul said, when I serve Rome, and despite now the jailing and all bad things that happened, he went to Rome. And in Rome, there was something that was waiting. There was something that he was waiting. Now Paul in Rome. What was that? Now a young man called Onesimus had stolen his employer's money and had ran out to Rome. And when Paul was walking the streets of Rome, they met with Onesimus, and Onesimus was saved. So the mission of Paul was always